Hey, I'm Owen.
Hi, I'm Suzana.
And we are back after a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
We took some time to put in a little extra hours on some projects that aren't toy pages.
Yeah, a lot of little busy things that we had to get through.
And we're not really even through them, to be honest. We did end up wrapping up a project that was kind of, hi Bisbee, wrapping up a project that was definitely very time consuming. Mm-hmm. And is now done, which opens us up to catch up on some stuff for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited to be this far through.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But there's definitely a little more ways to go before we're totally done. And I think that's just, that's very typical of our process, I think, is just getting very suddenly bombarded with like a ton of stuff that all needed to come due kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
And then being a little confused about how to do them all in a day.
It's like, how do we get time travel in our current life?
Yeah, for sure. I want, if I could just like pause time just to work.
I know, that's actually all I want it for, is just give me a little like clock that I can just like click, pause, and now I can spend hours on something and not even worry about it.
Yeah, not worry about like, oh, bedtime came and went and I have to get up and eat and
just needing to make your body function like food, sleep. Who needs that?
I know, it's a hassle sometimes. But I do feel good about where we're at. And I feel very optimistic that we're catching up now and we're coming up to a little bit about what I was talking about before, about the ability to make like a buffer. Yeah. Which I'll be very, very, very excited for when we can manage it. But soon.
Yeah. We're actually getting through right now my current project is finishing up prints.
Yeah.
And that's all for the Patreon.
Yes.
Which it's the print a month.
Yep.
So catching up on those for the last couple of months, getting them colored and detailed.
Yep.
Getting ahead on this month's, and I think probably even just getting December's out of the way so that way we can get them all printed at the same time.
I think we should finish out the year for sure. Which, sometimes it takes us a good solid couple weeks to get through them, but I'm really actually liking how they're coming out so far.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very pleased with them and I'm enjoying coloring them too. So it's fun work, even though the whole thing can get kind of gummed up and exhausting when there's quite so much to do.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of fun doing it, so it's nice.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And like, obviously maybe it would take less time if we did them all like separate and did them like not in one big clump.
Yes, yeah.
Because when you do things in like a large cluster, it does kind of slow you down because you have to take your time on each one of them.
Sure, yeah.
Where it's like it would feel like less time if I like had them spaced out from days apart. But in the end, I think it takes the same amount of time.
I think it does. I think it's just ideally any time that you do work that you can stop and say, I'm done with this for now, let me put it aside, right? Anytime that you get that feeling from work, work feels like, oh, that went quick, that was good, that was productive, that was really good, you know what I mean? So I think that's always ideal, even if it's the same amount of time. Yeah. It's always ideal to be able to do that. I think it's just, especially with the way that our process works, because we're actively making pages as we go. It's so easy when we find that we're like embroiled in a project that's taking us a significant amount of time, like when we do an extra, for instance, or if we do like a comic that's not toy, or a project that's kind of a new project for us. Everything gets added in to the time between pages, which the way that we do them now without a buffer, each page takes like a day and a half. Like a solid, at least a full work day plus probably another work day just for setup because we haven't batched the sketches in advance. You know what I mean? So I do think that it's been a tough year.
I think it's been a tough year for everyone.
It has been a tough year for everyone. It's one of those things that's like, when you're on top of it, it'll feel better. It'll once the pipeline is clear it up once everything is like not gumming the production up anymore.
Yeah.
Then you can like really critically and analytically come at it and say, I will batch this amount of sketches. I will finish these. That's my buffer.
Yeah.
Now I can do this month's print. Now I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes, especially when we add other things into the schedule, things get gummed up for us a little bit because we always slightly underestimate how long each project takes us.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit from getting involved in a new project sometimes takes a little bit of a different setup.
Yeah.
So it's like putting my brain into a different place is always difficult for me.
Education on new things that we're not used to using a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Having to work in a different size, especially with my canvas sizes, does affect a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Having to sketch differently or having to change my style around sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it's tough.
That's what it is.
It is. It's tough. It's it is what it is, right? So, but it's fine. At the end of the day, I feel good about the work we do.
Yeah.
I like, even though obviously I always have concerns about how we can do things faster. Not even really because it's like, I want to be faster. It's more just like, it would take some stress off the workload. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even as things get stressful and as things do get gummed up and we do feel kind of like, oh, there's not enough time to do all the things we want to do, it's still fun.
Yeah.
I still really like the job. I'm still very fortunate and privileged to be working on it with you. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Good. I'm glad.
100%. And I think like in the end, we've been through this multiple times.
Oh, for sure.
Anytime that we have like another project come in, we always have this happen.
Yeah.
But I think like by the time we get to the end of it, we usually do work a lot faster. And then like even earlier this year we had a pretty good buffer for a little bit before like we had a couple projects come in. Yeah. But you know, we'll catch up again.
It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And I've been taking the time to learn some stuff that I think is really gonna add in a really big way soon.
Yeah. But I was going to ask you, are you looking forward to making any more 3D models?
I am. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I have not had the chance to do it in a really long time.
I know.
And I'm actually really looking forward to it. I really wish that I had had more time to play with this one. Yeah. As much, you know what I mean? But I am really looking forward to it. I miss it. Yeah. I miss playing with Blender. I do miss changing up the routine. That's kind of why I was so excited about working with 3D in the first place, is because it was so new.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah, and there's so much I do like learning as much as it takes a lot of time to get through it, and sometimes it does slow the projects down. I do like learning. I like teaching myself new stuff, so I'm excited to go back to Blender as soon as possible.
I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this model ended up being really good for like you said, this was one that you wanted to spend more time on. But yeah. I think it ended up being really good and solid. Yeah. It served its purpose. Much like The Office, like you did a really good job with that. Eli's Office, I mean.
Yeah.
I think these are really solid backgrounds, and it did make it a lot faster for me. I'm
glad.
With a lot of character interaction stuff, it can be a little bit more time consuming. But did you find that it seemed faster to you?
Let me think. Mm-hmm. If I had to really critically analyze this scene, this scene surprised me how much time it took us. Yeah. But I noticed that we got faster.
Yeah, fair
as
enough.
It went. And I don't know what to attribute that to. I think anytime you change a scene, maybe you just have to re-grapple with how to draw those things in that scene. If somebody's reclining, if they're wearing a different outfit, you know what I mean? I think there is some slowdown. Yeah. But I really, as much as I really hoped to figure out exactly what it was, I'm not sure what it was. I really don't know. I think, I really can't even speculate. It's weird to me sometimes, and sometimes it does really come down to how you're feeling in a day. Do you know what I mean? That's true. Or and stuff like that. And some of these pages, they've taken a lot longer, and it's not even that they're necessarily stressful. It's just that they just do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I think that honestly, the more I look at it, the more it's like this would have been benefited by batching the sketches in advance, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, when you have characters reclining, if you have them seated, if you have them on couches, if you have them interacting, and I do want to talk about that with this page.
Yeah.
Some of like the interactions and body languages in this scene have been really thrilling to work on. It's not all just like, how do I make it faster? Like sometimes it really is like, no, it's fun. It can take its time.
Yeah.
Some things really just do take longer, I think. And that doesn't mean you don't include them.
Yeah.
They're still important. You know what I mean? They're still fun. They're still good to work on. Not everything needs to be time efficiency.
Right.
And I think that I can identify, you know, if you're gonna do a scene like this, it might just take longer than usual. That's okay. Then you have to look for ways in the process to cut the time down. So I think batching sketches in advance would have been the only way that I would have felt good about shaving time off this one.
Yeah.
I don't think the as I would like to go in and finish this background. It probably won't be important to do so.
Yeah.
But I would like to anyway, just for practice. You know what I mean?
And then the 3D model.
Yes, yeah. I'd like to I would like to put on the Patreon. I'd like to share it. I'd like to share my rough draft and then also the finished one. And I think I will probably even just for practice, even if it doesn't become useful to the production itself.
Yeah, I think it'll actually be useful. This isn't the last time that we're seeing the flat. Right. We're definitely going to be in here a few more times, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially in this room, it's really helpful. And their bedroom upstairs. Yeah,
I think once I'm done with prints, once I'm done coloring, catching up to you on prints, then I think I'm going to take another stab at it and actually flesh out the objects in the scene. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it.
And now you have a little more references too.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about it much because we've been working instead of doing recording for it. But I really enjoyed a lot of the body language in this scene.
Oh yeah.
I really like it. It was something that was like subconsciously I was aware of when you first started doing it, and then at one point you asked me if I liked it, and I started paying more attention to it. I love how awkward Liam is. I always love it about him in general. How awkward a dude he is. He's so awkward. But that he came in and like sat on the couch so primly. Yeah. And then didn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah. The entire time I had him constantly unable to figure out what he was supposed to do with them. Yeah. Stiff to his arm, like on his side.
Should I put my arm here to be more casual? What would read casually here? And here I am pantomiming it, putting my hand on the knee, hand on the hip, hand on the knee. I like how awkward he was.
Yeah. I like that's the exact energy I wanted from him coming into this scene, was just like he is feeling awkward, so of course like every instance of him just even trying to sit and look relaxed is going to be him just shifting. Yeah. And like trying very hard to be like, I am very normal.
I am very casual and cool. What is up, boyfriend? Yes. What's going on? Yeah, I really like it. It makes me sad, actually. Which is why I had a lot of fun with this page, because it kind of breaks through. I felt
the ice on it.
Yeah, I felt a little sad like the last couple pages, and it's a good thing, I think. Yeah. This chapter started with the same kind of energy where it's like they're fine. Yeah. They're not fighting, but they're so uncertain about it, and neither wants to like hurt the other one's feelings. Yeah. Really, that it's like they're awkward and they're not talking as normally as they usually do. Yeah. And I think it's probably the first time they've ever really felt that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they've felt anything like that since probably being back in college. Yeah. Yeah, that's my best guesstimate for that.
I think even at their worst, communicating wise, even when they're the most reluctant to talk about something, right, it is usually alongside I guess just like a general kind of casualness that there's nothing really that bad that can even happen from like, even as they avoid talking to each other, it's from a place of like but the stuff I'm escaping to instead is normal enough that, like, it has normal energy between them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can go off and do their normal things, go through a normal day, go out and eat or whatever.
Right.
And it is very normal. They're able to come back to it. But every time it's, like, breached on that little idea of, like, what is the future right now?
Yeah.
It's like both of them are kind of uncertain and unable to mesh.
They're not very good at figuring out, like, future plans.
Yeah.
They're not very good planners, I think.
Yeah.
Even Milo, who is, like, he's very planning oriented lately. He's very, like, scheduling and building up, like, a routine for himself.
Yeah.
Even he is very...
He's not very good at it.
He's very avoidant of commitment. Not, like, necessarily, like, relationship commitment, but he's avoidant of saying... he's, like, committing to a such and such plan. He likes the impulsive the free leeway to, like, be able to leap on stuff, but he's kind of bad at, like, putting his signature on it. Do you know what I mean? He's very, like, nervous about it.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
He's only bad at it insofar as he doesn't like actually making concrete plans.
Yeah.
He likes to have things, everything being kind of loose.
Yeah.
Because then, like, he can be spontaneous and can enjoy things.
Right.
But he does want to plan because then he at least knows where he's going.
Right, yeah.
So.
He wants to, like, make, like, shifting, quick, on his feet plans and doesn't really want to think too hard about it because it all becomes very concrete. And I think especially in this case, he's very nervous to step on Liam's toes and to maybe drive him away, especially because Liam is kind of the opposite. He's not very spontaneous.
Yeah.
He's very easily dragged along because he likes Milo so much that he wants to, like, sign his free will over to him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? He really, he's not a guy who likes to change things very much. He likes things to kind of stay very stagnant. Yeah. And he likes to be very comfortable hating them.
Yeah. He really likes to be able to just sit there and, like, either enjoy it or just be able to say that he hates it and like,
but he doesn't want to change it. He wants to complain. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's very
it's part of being awkward, I think.
Yeah, I think he's very he's an awkward guy. And he's very he doesn't like change. He doesn't like to make plans for the future because then they mean probably not this. Yeah. Not status quo, right? Yeah. So it's
And he's gotten used to status quo now.
Yeah, and he likes the status quo.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, I think.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of, and so that's why this page was so fun, because it was kind of like melting out of that that awkward kind of, I don't even know how to sit on my own couch feeling to
just trying to figure out what to do with all of his limbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now he knows what to do with his limbs.
Yes, because he had there for hugging.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're meant for. You crawl on a couch and then you hug your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
That's what couches and boyfriends are for.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like this scene. And it feels good to be here now especially after the beginning of this chapter.
Oh yeah.
And how it's just been kind of like, I don't know, it's been kind of this thing that's been building for so long. Like, kind of every chapter has ended with, like, something that's been contributive to, like, it will eventually come to this awkwardness. Yeah. Like, there's been so many unresolved little fights that have obviously, like, as soon as they build up enough, it's gonna be like this. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know, it's at least a little relief. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I said before, breaking the ice. Yeah. Because, like, you have to, like, freeze a little bit. You have to have a little bit of the ice build up, but it's kind of nice to break it every once in a while, relieve the tension. Yeah. They do still like each other, but by the end of the day, like, every relationship that you'll ever have in life, even if it's a romantic relationship or not, is going to come into these kind of places where, like, you're not saying everything that you're thinking about. Yeah. And, like, especially for them, they both don't say everything they're thinking about. Yeah. And they avoid a lot. Yeah. Or they try to push it down in favor of something else. And, I mean, that can't go on forever. No. Yeah. So it's good for them. This is good for them.
It's good. It is good for them. Yeah. I also, as we're doing this scene, I've had a lot of fun. I think I referred to it before too, where Milo's hair is, like, my favorite thing to color. It's like my absolute favorite thing that we draw. And every time we have a scene where he's not in it, I'm like, bring that guy back.
You want the curls.
It's not just the curls, it's also like the palette that that leans to.
That was all you're doing.
It's I really like it. I just have so much fun with it. It is the curls too. Mm-hmm. There's something about the body of his hair that I really enjoy following with shading, and I don't know, I just really like it.
I think it shows. I think, like, in a lot of the coloring, I can actually see how you end up following a lot of my curve lines.
Sure, yeah.
And you end up creating a lot of depth in there.
Oh, I'm glad.
I actually really like the colors you settled on, too, for him. I think, originally, my colors for him were just, like, his basic skin tone, and then I always want him to be, like, dark redhead.
Right.
Not auburn, because that's more purple, but dark red.
Yeah.
And, I think you really nailed it.
Oh, thank you.
So I really like it.
I'm really glad. I really enjoy it. I just it's a lot of fun. Visually, it's a lot of fun for me to do. And so every time I have these scenes where he's back, finally, why do they spend so much time apart? I really enjoyed that. And I also really enjoy that Liam's hair is the way it is right now, too. Because that's extra fun. This page has been very, I think even the last couple pages have been fun too, but I always like when they're near each other and like their hair kind of like meshes a little bit, and that kind of fun. It's fun for me to like pick it apart and kind of find whose hair is this and whose hair is this, and especially when they're both curly.
Yeah,
it's very. It becomes like a little bit of a search. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me figure out whose hair is which, and I just have so much fun with it. I really enjoy it.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So. You think that you like his hair curly more?
Oh, I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Yeah. Especially as I try to make plans for inevitabilities. Do you know what I mean? Liam so far has kept his hair the way he prefers to keep it, right?
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily how I prefer he keep it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, his hair has been so transitional throughout all of the story. It's like it's grown during certain character arcs and it's been cut short during certain character arcs, and but I would kind of enjoy for him to eventually come to a place where it is mostly solidified into his design, right?
When he comes into his own.
Yeah, as he's older and he's like actually settling into like whatever his future life path is, I won't say. But as he's deciding what he's going to do with himself, I'd like for it to be reflected in his character design too, that it's like a kind of the transitional, like transient kind of shiftingness of his design I'd like to end, and I'd like him to then go into it with like a more permanent hair design.
Yeah.
When I get to that stage. But I don't know, I'm a little... I guess I'm confused about it, because in my mind, I know what I would like that to be.
Yeah.
Right? And then I draw it, and I can't make it make sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of about what he would like as a character.
Yeah. And it has to be like one part, like, what would he even want for himself? And then I go to draw what I think makes sense for me, and then I look at it, and I'm like, this... I don't feel like there's something about it yet that hasn't necessarily clicked for me. Yeah. I think
you haven't found what you want for it.
Yeah, I would like to agree with him for once about what he should look like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a weird way of putting it. It's mostly like he has preferences that are like he likes the grooming aspect. He likes the it's like it's a little bit, he doesn't like change, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't like that his hair texture has changed over the course of his life. He's trying to like chase this like status quo of like, I liked when my hair looked like this. I want to keep it like this. I'd like to, I found a way to do that, and now I would like to continue to keep it this specific way. Do you know what I mean?
Because when he was a kid, his hair was
much straighter. Yeah, for sure. So as he aged, it was like kind of like for him, puberty was very much like, how do I get this to stop? You know what I mean? How do I get it to stay and be the way that I want it? You know what I mean? And I think it's not that anymore, but now it is just like a step of his grooming routine that he wants to maintain the way he wants to look like, and it's like very resistant to being different than how he wants it. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense. He's seeking comfort in familiarity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely like aspects of that I'd like to play with in giving him a more permanent design. But then, I don't know, I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know.
It's not quite right yet.
No, it's not. It's like, his silhouette's so different that I think for me, it's like, I don't know if that's him. I don't know if I want change either. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But it's weird. I don't know. I have to find that kind of middle ground. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, we do still have time. There's no pressure on it yet.
You always say that. I know.
I think, like, with a lot of character design stuff, I've always found that we happen upon something that we really like kind of accidentally.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just happens when we're just sketching and we accidentally lay down a line.
Yeah.
And it just very suddenly makes sense. And it's like you chase it from there.
That's true.
And I think that's been true for like every character design we've had.
That's true, yeah.
Like some little thing about it we didn't like, and then eventually like something made sense and we just kept going.
And it was like, oh, I really like that, yeah. Or it's like, you'll do like, I don't know, like a sketch page of like 5 different sketches, and it's like, each one is more random than the last. It's like, I'll try his hair this way and this way and this way and this way and this way. And then like, I don't know, your hand twitches slightly when you lay down, and it's like, oh, wait, that's a great silhouette, actually, please keep that, or, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm sure it'll be something like that, and I'm sure it'll have to be one of those things where I just have to keep sketching it in order to really find what it is I'm looking for. It's just one of those things where I know in my head what I want it to be, and then as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh, I don't know why I don't like that.
You lose his little what would you call those little twists off to the sides?
Flippy doos.
Yeah.
That's not what he's got because he straightens his hair. This is the way when I originally designed it, my idea for it was that when you straighten your hair, right, when you take a flat iron and you a straightener and you pull it down your hair, right, once your hair is like heated, once the bonds in your hair are heated, they become like pliant, right, because you've kind of damaged them a little bit. You've opened them up and you've made them chemically easier to bend, and that's why they can like adjust their shape, right? Is like you've loosened the organic bonds in your hair with the heat, right?
Yeah.
And then you get a couple seconds with the bonds all broken before they cool again, and in that amount of time you got to put your hair where it needs to be in order to make it stay that way, right? So you run the straightener really, really slowly down, right? And then you can do like a quick brush or whatever, and then your hair will stay in the shape that it was right before it cooled, right? And as it cools, those bonds kind of start to re-solidify and they heal back up, and then you get straight hair, right?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to go the direction with the straightener that you want your hair to remain.
Right.
But because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time, but even still, he probably taught himself and he doesn't really know what he's doing. He straightens his hair up, like he curls the straightener up.
Yeah.
To like go at this like kind of weird angle that like for him it's just like he's just going away from his head, like he's kind of like taking the straightener down and then going away, so it creates these weird like kind of flips where his
like
hair
flyaways.
his flyaway hairs where it's like it's almost like a I don't know, like a horns or something. You know what I mean? It's like
that's a good way.
It's like, and it's I wish I can't even like point to it on this page because he hasn't had the silhouette since it started raining.
Well, I have been including it in his curls.
Oh, fair
on each
enough.
side of his head. Those have now turned into a curl.
because his hair is it's not returning to its normal default texture. It's becoming unstraightened into a loose half straighten.
Yeah, it's like a wave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's cute actually. but when it's like when he's in default design mode, he's got like these flips that like look like horns because he's just done that, and his hair isn't quite long enough yet to pull itself down by its own weight. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. So now I'm so used to his like his dumb little flippy doos. I don't know why you call them flippy doos, but I do. That now when I see him like without them, I'm always like, I don't know, is that Liam? It's not.
That's part of him now.
It's the flippy doos. I don't know.
It has become like so default with him. I think actually, at the beginning of this chapter, he is straightening his hair, and you can see him.
He's doing it wrong.
Yeah, he does it wrong, and I very specifically illustrated him doing it wrong.
I love that. I really.
So don't take any tips from Liam. He has no idea what he's doing.
No, his hair is what do the hairdressers say? It's like almost impressively porous.
Yeah. Oh, honey.
I don't know if that's like the exact line, but it's something like that where it's like,
oh, he has damaged those poor hair follicles. So much.
Your hair is so damaged, it's almost impressive. You are not doing this right. So yeah, there's a lot of like, I don't know. I really want. You're right. There's plenty of time. One of these days, there's so much. So much in the it's so much in the soup simmering right now that I can't keep adding on to myself things to do yet. Right, but one of these days I'd love to sit down and do like a I don't know, like a sketch session, like a sketch jam kind of situation where it's like I want to like sit and draw all like a bunch of different like hairstyles and like really see what resonates with me, and then I'll kind of know, because it'll kind of inform even the last couple chapters, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be important as he's coming into his own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have time, but at the same time, I guess with that in mind, you probably don't have that much time.
Suzanne, sorry. Okay.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. I the amount of time that I have is not immediately stressful to me.
Yeah.
I have enough time at least to finish The Prince.
Right. I would also like to do a little sketch session. Yeah. We've been doing some like character design work lately, and I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, me too.
So
me too. Yeah,
it's nice. It's like a good little break here and there in between like doing other work. You just get to do some character design work. So we'll just have to do it with Liam. Yeah,
for sure. I really like it. I talked about it a long time ago. How I'm really excited in designing new characters that I get to pick new color schemes and stuff. That's been super fun. So that's been something that's been like totally I haven't really touched anything like that. I haven't touched anything like deciding what color a character's hair is going to be, or like what tones, like what undertone their skin has and stuff like that. I haven't been able to do that kind of work in a really long time. Yeah. And that being on my agenda lately is so exciting. Yeah. And
I get to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't mind like tweaking up bits of the palette of toy when I get to like the sequel.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not, again.
Yeah, it's not a rush right now.
And there's no rush, for sure.
Yeah, I think like it might be kind of fun to look into. I was watching something earlier today about color psychology. Oh. And like actually maybe looking at that a little bit, where it's like each like color palette can really show what the character's priorities are, or what their goals or ambitions are.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. So the thing I was watching was specifically, it was an ad pushed to me by something. And I just watched it because it was actually very interesting. Sure. And it was about how Disney characters all follow the color psychology. So all the like the villains have like the bright, vibrant colors like red, or like the solid black. Okay. Whereas the like superheroes and like the heroines and whatever, like the good guys, they'll have soft colors. And the softer colors tend to, like, show something different from their psychology. So it's like, I can't remember what each one meant, but, like, they pointed out how Belle is in a yellow dress, and that, like, that shows you what kind of person she is, versus, like, you have Aladdin wearing, like, bright purple and white. And the purple is a villain color usually, but that's, like, more how spontaneous he is. Oh. So, little things like that. I was really interested in diving into it more, so...
Oh, I might have to look that up.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll have that to talk about and go through
it. Suzanne... Yeah, I would like to talk about that more, actually. Yeah. I would like to... but I am a little bit like, oh, how much more can I even add? But no, I would like to actually, I want to look that up, and I want to study that, actually.
Because I was meaning to bring it up to you because I thought you would find it very interesting. Yeah. And I just looked at it so briefly that obviously I didn't absorb very much of it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll look for sure. Yeah, I will, I'll look into that. Yeah. I'd love to get to the point where I can actually, like, talk more in depth about some of the stuff that we have been working on. Yeah. I mean, really, honestly, there's nothing for it except to dive back into work right now, right this second. Turn the mic off. You know what I mean? So I really, that's what I'm going to do. I will have more soon.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you again soon.
Yeah.
If you got to this point, thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one.